We're looking at your situation today. Your reading has been incredibly difficult to do. This is the second, actually, I think the third time now I tried to do your reading. And I don't know, for reasons that are beyond my explanation, I have had serious difficulty trying to do your reading. Really hard. All right. I spent pretty much an hour on this reading. The other signs I'll probably spend about 20 minutes or something like that. I've been to get these messages. So I hope you enjoy whatever, whoever is out there that needs to hear these messages because holy crap, it took me forever. Holy crap, it took me forever to try and understand what was going on here. I put post-it notes to try and understand it. All right. Some of the messages are not that complicated, but hopefully this makes sense. If you want more information about this video, because we're just going to jump right to it, you just hit that little drop-down tab, and I'll leave some just generic information in there. All right, Gemini, deep breath. I put a little incense stick here. I don't know what kind of energy you're conjuring, or what who this is applying to. There's got to be some Geminis out there going through some serious stuff or something. I just didn't really feel this for some of the other signs, but whatever. Let's get right to it. Breathe, breathe. Yes. Okay. Gemini, your first card, Capricorn energy with the Four of Pentacles. What is it related to? The Nine of Wands in reverse. Okay. This is concerning here because what it suggests here in some ways is a degree of A, burnout, and B, compromising. In some ways, this is going to describe immediately a Gemini that is in some predicament. What that is, don't know. I have no idea. All right. Where there has been a constant gazelle pace trying to get something done. It could just be general stuff. Who knows? But there's wear and tear that's occurring, and there's just been too much of it. And now there's a breakdown. It's that drive for life, that passion, or the direction, or whatever. It's slowing down. Is that because there's been setbacks constantly? Probably. Is it because there's been circumstances that have been out of your control? Probably. I don't know. Whatever the case is, it's describing something like that that's going on for some Geminis out there. Okay. What does Spirit want you to know is, again, the Four of Pentacles, suggesting to hold on to what you got. Now, I know that sounds pretty straightforward, but there's more to it. All right? Your advice is, go figure, the Nine of Wands, upright. So, this is in some ways suggesting that you need to focus on what you have. If you're in this burnout situation where you just feel like you're stuck, you're done. The gas is out of the engine. It's very hard to envision yourself moving forward or going anywhere or doing anything. It's just kind of like you want to say fuck it, really. When someone's in that position, I can tell you right now, their will to fight or whatever like that, it's just not quite there. All right, Spirit's kind of suggesting here in some ways that the first step is you need to focus on what you have, even if it's not much. A lot of people, I don't have anything. Well, you're waking up, aren't you? You're watching this video, so you have something. It is suggesting to count your blessings wisely, whatever that is, no matter how small it is. If it's just looking outside and looking at the flowers out there, that's a blessing. All right, but your advice, again, Nine of Wands, is suggesting you need to get that drive back and stay in the game. All right, it is a persistence card. It's the Wounded Warrior, but you're almost at the finish line. So for those of you, especially in projects or some business adventure, you're losing that drive or that passion, you're getting advice here to stick with it. Don't be a quitter. And if you want someone that's going to motivate you, well, actually, I don't want to say Donald Trump because there's probably some people that are Democrat don't like him, but Donald Trump is the neutral part of Donald Trump is that he is fantastic with promoting perseverance advice. He might be someone that you can reflect with, or whatever your Democratic equivalent is if you're a Democrat. But anyways, stay with it. So you're getting the thumbs up that you're at the finish line. So if it's especially a business or a project idea, success could be around the corner. But if you quit now, just don't do it. Just don't do it. I don't want to know any more about it. We're moving on. Next one is Temperance in reverse, something that you need to know. So there's imbalance. Clearly, there's disharmony here on something. What does it go into? Ace of Wands. This should be positive because it probably suggests some degree of, it's an opportunity card, but it can also say potential or desire for potential. Doesn't mean you're taking action. It could, but there is some disharmony about something that's being engaged or attempted potentially here. I obviously Didn't know what the hell this was even talking about. When I clarified the Ace of Wands using a different deck, this was the advice deck, but I just used it. We got Tower here. So, again, doesn't really tell me a whole lot because I'm like, is this a situation that burned down? Why would you be taking action towards it? Right? My initial assumption is that this is a situation that is something you're attempting to start up again or go towards or something that didn't work. In other words, it didn't fucking work the last time, but I know it's been 10 times, but I can make it work this time. Maybe it's one of those situations. This is where I'm thinking this is going, right? Um, the other cards I clarified, I used one card from the Dreams of Gaia. It's a small deck I have with a couple cards I think that are relevant. I kind of only use it in certain situations. You got choice here, all right? That was the advice on what the Temperance in Reverse was about. So it's just to help me get clues on what this is referring to. So there's some decision that needs to be made here, okay, on where you're putting energy or something that you're trying to do, all right? The other clarification, because I wasn't satisfied with that, we got Ace of Wands in the reverse and the Three of Cups in reverse. Okay, I drew another card from the Dreams of Gaia, Faith. All right, so the best that I could draw up from here, and this is the crazy thing, it's showing Ace of Wands in reverse, and you have Ace of Wands there. So this is what you should be, it's suggesting you shouldn't be doing, or you should do, I'm sorry. Slow down, and then the other thing is a concern for potential love triangle. I hate saying the fucking third party thing because I think it's just so overused and terrible, but this was the only thing I could really dig up here. So if this is an attempt to go after somebody that's involved romantically, like they're already in a relationship or they're married, it's suggesting here, stop doing that. Stop doing that. It's not balanced at all. And then there's probably a choice here. Where you're putting your time and your energy is important. And if it's in a situation that's already had problems and is burnt down and hasn't been successful, you continuing to put energy into that is detrimental to you, which is probably why the Temperance is in reverse here. It's understandable that walking away from these situations is oftentimes difficult, but that's the only thing I can draw at why Faith is here. You have to have belief that, you can find something better. Because oftentimes people return to these situations because they're convinced at some point it's going to work out. The promise of more later. It's been 10 years. It's coming, baby. I just got to be pushing towards it. Stop doing that. All right? You can't get back your time. Money you can earn back, but time you can't. So that's what I'm thinking. We're moving on. Next situation is again about something, unfortunately, is a little bit negative here. You have 10 of Swords in reverse is what it's advising here, what you need to know. What is it going to? 10 of Swords. A lot of synergy here with the cards, the combinations. You just can't, whatever. Don't care, just go with it, What is the 10 of Swords about? 7 of Wands in reverse, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So this is suggesting, again, coming back into some degree of the first and the second message here. A situation that's up in the air, that's not being managed well. Is it related to a relationship? It doesn't have to be. All right, the 7 of Wands in reverse can also talk about people overstepping their boundaries that are kind of pushing you or testing you, and you're just kind of compromising and letting them do it. All right, these situations are ripe with drama and they're ripe with imbalance. Okay, it's understandable when you get screwed over or somebody does you dirty or something like that. It's always normal to feel hurt and whatever, and be depressed about your situation or miserable for a while. But the idea is you come out of it at some point, right? For Spirit to be sending this, which would suggest the swords need to come out and move on, end the cycle, must be telling me that there's a consistency of some degree of lingering pain. Okay? I wish I could tell you specifically what that was about, but in tarot, obviously, I'm limited on what the cards can tell me. And the 7 of Wands in reverse, again, telling me that this could be a low self-esteem issue, lowering boundaries, not standing up for something that you want. What is the reason? I don't know. Is it to compromise, or is it just you don't care? I don't know who that applies to. And again, the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. This could also tell me a Gemini that's just, if it's not even related to a relationship or self-esteem problem, somebody that just has too much shit on their plate. They can't do it all. Just can't. Keep trying to tell themselves they can, but it's wearing them out. And then it's like, I mean, you could just probably assume that whoever this is applying to probably just feels like they're dead already. They're like 1 foot in the grave. I mean, maybe it's not that extreme. I don't know, Gemini. But your advice here is 9 of Swords in reverse. Again, really great advice. But then again, I'm like, what point is that? As synergistic as that is, this whole reading wasn't an issue about synergy. It was the question of what the fuck is this supposed to tell us, and how does this? It's simple advice. Like if you're in this situation, Nine of Swords in reverse is stating the obvious. Well, you need to come out of whatever is plaguing your mind that's causing stress or consist. You know, especially if it's an emotionally challenging situation, of feeling drained and just your worldview is just kind of not in the toilet a little bit. How do you just snap out of it? You know, and this is kind of what it's saying a little bit. Just come out of it. I clarified further to try and find another answer. We had Nine of Cups here. All right, I looked the Nine of Cups up a bit. I know what the card means, but I was trying to find other alternative explanations for what it's related to. But double nines, I don't know if 9-9 means something to someone, but Nine of Cups here is a focus on one, emotional independence, and it's also looking at what you have accomplished, especially if you've lost sight of that. Which, if you've been entangled in a situation that's emotionally draining you, or you just feel like you're done, or you're burnt out, or you're spent, it's pretty important when the motivation and the drive isn't really there, probably to reflect on what you have accomplished and attempt to try and appreciate it again. If that makes any sense to anyone. Anyways, we're moving on. Something around that, all right? But emotional independence, very critical, all right? Needs to be more focused on that, okay? And again, if you're a Gemini watching this and you're like, man, I don't have any emotional problems, great. Okay, these messages probably don't apply to you, unfortunately. The next message here is a kind of a cautionary one. This is not something I think you need to really, it's not something you're doing, Gemini. It's a suggestion here about some person in your life that is potentially um, stealing something from you. I don't know if this is time, money, or affection or something. I have Seven of Swords here. This card, what is so bizarre about these readings, Gemini, is that I've done obviously a couple signs. You could really say I've done like 4 or 5 signs or whatever. The Seven of Swords, there's a couple cards that don't seem to want to come out. It doesn't matter how much I shuffle, whatever I do and stuff, they don't come out. This card has come out, I think, like one time reversed in another reading, that's it. So this is like a cautionary tale to me. This tells me immediately that there's some significance to it in that there's either a suspected situation or it is going on. In other words, you don't know about it. A person that is, like I said, taking advantage of you in some ways or fashion. If you're the type that has a spidey sense that has been trying to point out that, I don't know, something doesn't feel right about this, you're getting a warning here that that could be the case. It's directly telling you to stop giving to whoever this is, especially if this is going to be somebody that could be potentially asking you for money the whole time. Warning, somebody that is constantly demonstrating shady behavior. That's legitimate shady behavior, not because they just didn't call you back. Oh, they're cheating. No, somebody that, like I said, fuck it. There's a myriad of things you could think of, but you'll know if this is applying to you. But it is a caution. Your spidey sense has been going off about someone you're involved with that just seems like something's not adding up the whole fucking time. Whether that's you always doing everything or whatever, and their words just don't match their actions, and it's like, man, I'm kind of feel like I'm getting screwed or used or something like that, especially if you're getting used. Warning, pay attention to this. It's suggesting be very cautious about that. Last message for you, Gemini, and then we've got one other one that's something, I guess, somewhat positive for you, but again, this one I'm going to be extremely brief on here, Gemini, is stop investing time into a situation. This is kind of, I don't know if this is tying back in the message we just talked about or anything else. Unfortunately, messages just want to keep screaming the same things. There seems to be a romantic situation in this particular context that a Gemini is putting energy into. And with the Seven of Cups being here reversed, normally that's a good thing. But in this context, it's not. Okay? Because with the Eight of Wands being reversed, tells me that it's suggesting what you need to know is to grind things to a halt. Okay? Which tells me that if you're trying to put energy into something, there's a reason it's cautioning you not to do it. All right? It doesn't mean you are putting energy, but it could be trying to continuously try to get it to go. Because the Eight of Wands would be great for, shit to move forward, right? The Seven of Cups in reverse though can talk about a worsening or fantasization, someone fantasizing or kind of lost in a dreamland. They're just like they're not seeing the big picture that something is just it's supposed to be dead. It just doesn't work, you know? Three of Swords in reverse is the clue here. It suggests the situation was probably a breakup that ended and has been ended, but unfortunately, and you've got over it. But the problem is that the emotions tied in the situation or whatever the investment is still there, and so there's still a longing for it or something like that, and a desire to try and make it work. These situations are ultra toxic because they oftentimes go nowhere. They don't work at all. The Sun in reverse here, all right? Great card because it kind of suggests once again confirm order in you. That doesn't work. All right. You be the judge of that, Gemini. I would assume if this is a romantic situation, high chance for these situations is some type of fire sign or, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that, a fire sign. All right. I would assume that this is the most prominent sign people get caught up in these situations is fire sign. Fire sign energy, either they are a fire sign or they have it in their chart, like a lot of it. Anyway, Jenna, we're going to finish up with your reading here. Hopefully you got something out of that. Your last and final card, because your reading was so kind of in the gutter type thing as far as I'm concerned, I drew another wild card from the Dreams of Gaia. This time I actually used the full deck. It wasn't that split deck I was talking about, so this one has like 50 or 60 cards, whatever. You got the Four of Earth. It is slightly different to regular tarot. So I just looked the card up here. Because they've changed a lot of the variations, so I have to make sure I was reading the right one. This card is directly telling you here, and it synergizes fantastically with this reading. All right. Key phrases: slow and steady progress, one step at a time. Fear and doubt, slow forward momentum. Do not falter. Rest and recharge. A good outcome ahead. Do not make hasty decisions. Watch for careless errors, which really matches with this reading a lot. So clearly, I don't know who this applies to. I understand, unfortunately, for those of you wanting to hear about riches and fortunes and things, this wasn't your reading, but someone was supposed to hear this, I suppose. Oh, and this is the other thing. When the Four of Earth appears in your reading, a happy and rewarding outcome is close at hand. Remember, however, that the key to completing large or long-term projects is in making slow and steady progress. The key is to put one brick on top of another to preserve and continue to build, even when you feel you want to give up. I mean, fuck me, that sounds just like what some of the stuff we talked about. It is to remain stoic and positive in the face of hardship, knowing that the experiencing frustration, fear, and doubt will only serve to weigh you down and slow your momentum. You have made real and tangible progress. Do not falter now. You are close to achieving your goal or manifesting the outcome you desire most. Four of Earth encourages you not giving up even if weariness dogs your every move. Take a moment to look back at how far you've come and celebrate what you've achieved. Now look forward and see that you only have a few things left to accomplish. Take heart, take a moment to rest and recharge, and then continue forward with the same level of dedication. Wow, that's a wrap for your reading, Gemini. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.